There we go. So apparently my problem was I didn't clear out the trash. So note to folks, um, when you're deleting files, clear out the trash. Technology. So, hey guys, um, let's talk about Boogie and his cancer lie. So, um, I think I'm gonna start watching Mr. Snowflake first and comment about that. And then, when I think it's an appropriate time, I pulled up the Mayo Clinic info on the type of cancer he said he was having, and we'll try to, suss out the things, okay?
Everything else except that.
Danielle Mooney died of breast cancer.
Everything about his life except for
her 2
one
days
thing that
before
was
she died. She died with a
everything
in her.
Okay, right off the bat, we're discussing breast cancer, and something I want to make sure people are aware of. It's not just women who can get breast cancer. Men can also get breast cancer. The reason why this is a thing is all embryos start female. Look it up. This is fact. This is why apparently there's this weird thing where babies can exit the womb lactating, and this is true even for boys. It's just because of all the hormones going on inside, but all embryos start as female. The XY chromosomes, they hash it out, try to figure things out, and eventually your gender gets locked in. And apparently, sometimes things don't get sorted out right, and that's how we get trans people. That's my working theory anyway. That the pipes don't match what's up in there. That's how that works. But yes, men can get breast cancer. So, especially as you get older, guys, you should find out how to do self exams as well. Especially if you have, let's say, breast tissue. If you got moobs, just give them some squeeze, give them some love. Better safe than sorry. Just want to say.
Oh, come on. Yeah, and I would never lie about cancer. Okay. And disgusting. You think I would?
I will point out again, I will go down in history as having faked cancer. That it was a very stupid thing for me to do.
Yes,
the first video that did decent views, half decent views on this channel was a Boogie video, and that was a few years ago now. And a lot's happened since that first Boogie video to now. The main thing is that he lied about cancer. No point doing the usual thing of keeping the big drama towards the end. Everybody knows he's lied about it. It's been all over YouTube. It's been the biggest story since he was first called out for his fake cancer.
Boogie2988, you were being confronted tonight.
I didn't grow up watching Boogie, so I didn't get him. When I first found him, he already had the reputation of a big liar and a manipulator. So I didn't really get it. I didn't find him funny. I didn't think he was nice. I didn't think he was very endearing. I didn't get the Francis stuff.
Oh my god!
I really didn't get the Francis stuff, but maybe
I haven't watched Boogie as much as some other people have, as far as I understand. The things I have found out about him definitely aren't funny. And boy loves himself some hookers. Just gonna say. They don't love him back. Especially because apparently he may have had some issues with paying them. Something about that.
Don't get comedy.
Where's my Mountain Dew?
What are you talking about, man?
No, where's my Mountain Dew? I keep it in the microwave.
He didn't have the best reputation when I found out who he was. I think he was pretty much hated by most. But some, maybe said all, some of that hate would lessen a little bit after he uploaded his diagnosis video.
Well, you remember about 3 weeks back I said that I likely could potentially have a form of cancer? Turns out I got a rare blood cancer called polycythemia vera, which basically makes your body produce too many red blood cells. And when I started taking that testosterone supplement 7 or 8 years ago, however long it's been, we knew that this was a possibility. You never think you're going to be the guy who gets that side effect, though, right? You never.
It looked like he was trying to source Mayo Clinic, so now I gotta look. Yeah. If you guys search the polycythemia vera, however you pronounce it, and Mayo Clinic, what he shows and basically what then Mr. Snowflake shows is Mayo Clinic. So let's talk about it. As it says, polycythemia vera is a type of blood cancer. It causes your bone marrow to make too many red blood cells. These excess cells thicken your blood, slowing its flow, which may cause serious problems such as blood clots. Polycythemia vera is rare. It usually develops slowly, and you might have it for years without knowing. Often the condition is found during a blood test done for another reason. He later goes on in this video talking about needing a bone marrow biopsy to confirm. But if this is saying it can be found just with a blood test, why would he then need the biopsy? And also, he never says he actually gets the biopsy. I've heard it on this. I've heard it through other people. I think he says that he decided not to do it at all. Not that the doctors decided against it, that he decided he didn't want to do it for pussy reasons. No, because vaginas are strong power. He basically decided that he was too afraid to get the biopsy. That's what he's saying. Of course, if he was faking the whole thing, he couldn't get a procedure that his doctor wasn't asking him to get. He certainly couldn't request it. They'd start looking at him for, it's not Munchausen's anymore if it's yourself. I forget what it's called, but without treatment, polycythemia vera can be life-threatening, but proper medical care can help ease signs, symptoms, and complications of this disease. Symptoms. Many people with polycythemia vera don't have noticeable signs or symptoms. Some people might develop vague symptoms such as headaches, dizziness, fatigue, and blurred vision. That seems to happen with a lot of cancers. At least that I'm recalling. That seems to be... Even Tom had some of those, but his was glioblastoma, which was a brain cancer. More specific symptoms of polycythemia vera include itchiness, especially after a warm bath or shower, numbness, tingling, burning, or weakness in your hands, feet, arms, or legs, a feeling of fullness soon after eating, and bloating or pain in your upper or your left upper abdomen due to an enlarged spleen. I don't think he's ever talked about that. Unusual bleeding, such as a nosebleed or bleeding gums. Painful swelling of one joint, often the big toe. Shortness of breath and difficulty breathing when lying down. Well, Boogie's just a big guy, so that last one, I'm just saying. His talk about testosterone seems iffy. Causes. Polycythemia vera occurs when a mutation in a gene causes a problem with blood cell production. Normally, your body regulates the number of each of 3 types of blood cells you have: red blood cells, white blood cells, and platelets. But in polycythemia vera, your bone marrow makes too many of some of these blood cells. The cause of this gene mutation in polycythemia vera is unknown, but it's generally not inherited from your parents. Risk factors. Polycythemia vera, I cannot say that word correctly. I'm trying though. I think I've said it right a couple times, but then I focus and I fuck it up. It can occur at any age, but it's more common in adults between 50 and 75. I don't think Boogie's that old. He might be close, but I don't think he's that old. Men are more likely to get it, but women tend to get the disease at younger ages. Complications. Possible complications of polycythemia vera include blood clots, increased blood thickness and decreased blood flow, as well as abnormalities in your platelets raise your risk of blood clots. Blood clots can cause a stroke, a heart attack, or a blockage in your artery, in your lungs, or a vein deep within a leg muscle or in the abdomen. Enlarged spleen. Your spleen helps your body fight infections and filter unwanted material, such as old or damaged blood cells. The increased number of blood cells caused by polycythemia vera makes your spleen work harder than normal, which causes it to enlarge. Problems due to high levels of red blood cells. Too many red blood cells can lead to a number of other complications, including open sores on the inside lining of your stomach, upper small intestines or esophagus, and inflammation in your joints, i.e. gout, and other blood disorders. In rare cases, polycythemia vera can lead to other blood diseases, including a progressive disorder in which bone marrow is replaced with scar tissue, a condition in which stem cells don't mature or function properly, or cancer of the blood and bone marrow, acute leukemia. Diagnosis. Your doctor will take a detailed medical history and perform a physical exam. Blood tests. If you have polycythemia vera, blood tests might reveal more red blood cells than normal, and sometimes an increase in platelets or white blood cells. A greater percentage of red blood cells that make up the total blood volume. Hematocrit grit measurement, elevated levels of iron-rich protein in the blood cells that carries oxygen, hemoglobin, bone marrow aspiration or biopsy. Okay, so apparently they would do that. If your doctor suspects that you have polycythemia vera, he or she might recommend collecting a sample of your bone marrow through a bone marrow aspiration or biopsy. A bone marrow biopsy involves taking a sample of solid bone marrow material. A bone marrow aspiration is usually done at the same time. During an aspiration, your doctor withdraws a sample of the liquid portion of your marrow. Bone marrow exam. In a bone marrow aspiration, a healthcare provider uses a thin needle to remove a small amount of the liquid bone marrow, usually from a spot in the back of your hip bone, pelvis. A bone marrow biopsy is often done at the same time. The second procedure removes a small piece of bone tissue and the enclosed marrow. Specific gene testing. If you have polycythemia or vera, analysis of your bone marrow or blood might show the gene mutation that's associated with the disease. There's no cure for polycythemia vera. Treatment focuses on reducing your risk of complications. These treatments may also ease your symptoms. Blood withdrawals. The most common treatment for polycythemia vera is having frequent blood withdrawals using a needle in a vein phlebotomy. It's the same procedure used for donating blood. This decreases your blood volume and reduces the number of excess blood cells. How often you need to have your blood drawn depends on the severity of your condition. Did he ever talk about doing that? Because from, again, what I've gathered from what others have shared, he's only talked about medications. So why didn't... Well, again, he was lying. So if he was just outright lying, they wouldn't have talked to him about doing this. So treatments to reduce itching. If you have bothersome itching, your doctor may prescribe medications such as antihistamines or recommend ultraviolet light treatment to relieve your discomfort. Medications that are normally used to treat depression, called selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors, SSRIs, helped relieve itching in clinical trials. Examples of selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors include paroxetine, known as Rydell, Paxil, Paxeva, and others, or fluoxetine, that's what I'm on, Prozac, Seraphim, Selfemra, and others. Drugs that reduce the number of red blood cells. If phlebotomy alone doesn't help enough, your doctor may suggest medications that help reduce the number of red blood cells in your bloodstream. So, the doctors would have suggested the blood draws right off. And that would make sense because what they're probably going to go into here is like blood thinners, I would think, which is not something people should be on, especially long term, because that'll turn them into hemophiliacs. I think that's the right word. Basically, if they get a cut, they're gonna bleed like, across their throat. So, examples include hydroxia, interferon alpha 2b or interferon A, ruxolitinib. The names on some of these, also known as Jexify, and busulfan, known as Busulfix and Milloran. Heart medications. Your doctor will also likely prescribe medications to control risk factors for heart and blood vessel disease, including high blood pressure, diabetes, and abnormal cholesterol. All medications Boogie would have been given because he's a big guy. So, plausible deniability? Your doctor may recommend that you take a low dose of aspirin to reduce your risk of blood clots. Low dose aspirin may also help reduce burning pain in your feet or hands. Since they call it a cancer, I'm surprised that they didn't talk about plasmapheresis. They didn't talk about chemo. They didn't talk about radiation. So I'm definitely surprised by those things. But I'm wondering if Boogie specifically tried to find something that could be hard to disprove. But I'm guessing he didn't sell it right, and that's when people started poking holes into things for 2 years, I guess. Because I think that far back people were saying things about it, but of course recently it's been an uproar. So let's continue on.
I think it's gonna be you, but sometimes it is. It has to be somebody. You know me and my dark sense of humor. When my doctor told me all of this, I said, if I die of cancer, doc, instead of my morbid obesity, which I've been working so hard on for the last 30 years, I'm gonna be pissed. And
obesity increases your risk of certain cancers. Eventually, I will look up which cancers these are, but I remember hearing it once. It was more the fact that increases the risk of cancers that kind of shocked my ass into doing more about my health. So that was enough for me, but I'll get into the nitty-gritty with you guys in a future video. Oh, I'm supposed to see her at noon. Wait, no, that's for Michelle. Sorry, I just found an appointment card for the dietitian. Wait, July 20th. I think she meant to write August. I'm gonna have to send her an email later. Because she sees people once a month, and I just saw her, so.
Well, the good news is, it might just give me a stroke or a heart attack, which is how I was going out anyway.
Now that we know that was all lies, I was thinking, why did he do it in the first place? What was his motivation for doing that?
I hope it gives you an idea of why I've been so worried about my money, why I've been so worried about my career, why I've been so worried about my future, why I've done some of the things I've done and said some of the things I've said. Maybe I should have led with this before I asked people to watch my videos or become channel members or whatever. I don't know. This felt very private at the time.
So he's implying I've done some stupid things, but this is why. I've had cancer in the back of my mind, so it's caused me to be a bit of a silly sausage. But it was his get out.
So, his crypto scam, which I only know surface level stuff about, he's trying to say he was doing it because he was panicked about money because of the cancer. So, guys, he just wants sympathy because he was trying to scam you guys out of money because he didn't have cancer.
A jail-free card, basically. I've done some stupid things. People hate me for it. I'll get away with it. If I say I've got cancer, that's what that is. And not long before his diagnosis video, I'm gonna trying not to do that every 10
that's
seconds.
so
Just
shitty.
before that video, he was getting loads of hate because he came on screen literally begging for money off people.
If you're in a position where you only have like $1 or $5, you can super chat that.
And when I've been listening to him speak recently,
YouTube takes like at least, what, half of that? So what would be the point? Like $1, I mean, you know. I hope it's not that much. But, you know, this upsets me because me and Tom, we struggled a bit with his whole cancer thing. You know, we struggled financially, especially when he was trying to lose weight, and, you know, we wanted to get protein shakes for him to try to curb his appetite and, you know, do all the right things, because when he first got his diagnosis, he was too big for like doing the radiation and stuff like that, and so he needed to get his weight down. And so, like, he struggled, but he did the things he had to fucking do in order to get it done. And that's why later, when I kept hearing about how he didn't want to do like the bone marrow biopsy and stuff like that, it was just, it frustrated me, because if he did have it, if he really did have this rare blood cancer, he should be doing everything in his fucking power to make sure that he has it, that he's not mismedicating himself, because who knows what the fuck that could do to his body, and be treating this aggressively to keep his health for as long as he can fucking have it. It's not to mention that if people were actually looking up to him, was actually taking what he was saying as advice, the misinformation is... This is why I get upset about a lot of the shit Amber says, some of the things Chantal says, what? This is why. Do your own research. You know, even with the shit that I say, look it up yourself. You know, make sure you're reading it with your own eyes. Or look up, you know, doctors talking about it on YouTube or something. Do your own research. I will say that all the fucking time until I'm blue in the face.
it sounds like he made that video and then never mentioned it again. But he mentioned it a few times over the years to remind people, hey, don't hate me.
Then I got finally confirmed that I do have that rare blood cancer, and I fought off COVID. Oh, you're a piece of garbage. I mentioned my cancer during that, talked about the polycythemia vera that I have and how it's currently affecting my health with the blood pressure. Some of you may not know this, but I got diagnosed last year, almost a year and a half ago, with a form of cancer, polycythemia vera, which is a blood cancer, which...
Oh god, I have the same Deadpool shirt.
Has a prognosis of like 20 years. My dying body, not so much. 20 years, considerably less.
I remember that video at the time. I just thought, there's no way. I know he's a liar, but there's no way he's going to lie about that. But he did. How naive I was back then. Silly me. Probably still am. And even though his views were down from his heyday, he was still just about getting by. Another YouTuber called Keemstar came along. He created a show, LolCow Live, podcast, basically just for Boogie, to help him out, to help pay his mortgage. And even though he did have a soft spot for him, he was always frustrated by Boogie's lies. And I've realised in my short time on YouTube, LolCows going live is never a good idea. Ever.
Boogie2988, you are being confronted tonight. I am 99% sure that you are faking.
No, don't move on.
You are faking your cancer diagnosis, Boogie.
Okay, let's hear that.
Did the doctor ever tell you, or did he ever say the word cancer?
He said polycythemia vera, which is a form of cancer, as he explained it to me. And no, it is not secondary polycythemia, which is Nicholas Diorio's explanation for this.
I think it is secondary polycythemia.
Well, then
Can you
why
explain?
why would he call it polycythemia vera? Why does he order a bone marrow biopsy to confirm it?
Well, if you ordered a bone marrow biopsy to confirm it, it would be weird that you told us that you already had a diagnosis and a confirmation.
Because the markers are in my blood. The hormone markers are in my blood, Destiny.
Perfect. But you said that you had received a diagnosis, but now you just told me you got a bone marrow biopsy.
It's a diagnosis, and now we're confirming. It's called a confirmation.
You can have this whole thing.
He never actually got
polycythemia vera on it. You don't have one.
I'm never showing any of these motherfuckers.
He would have milked the shit out of the fact that he got a bone biopsy. Because, no offense to the guys that are potentially watching this, but I love everybody. Mostly everybody. But guys are the biggest fucking babies out there. And if you don't believe me, look at the videos where women are doing the whole TENS things on their boyfriends, husbands, whatnot, to help them experience like what period cramps and what labor pains are like. Yeah, you guys are babies. So the fact that they would have had to go against his hip bone to scrape it, to cut into it, to extract things out of it, you know he would have made at least a fucking video going on and on about how much it hurt, what the aftercare was going to be like, or what it was like. Because I don't know if they would have kept him in the hospital for such a thing. Like, seriously, come on, think about it.
I said that 2 years ago, and I'm staying by it now. Destiny, Jackson Clark, Keemstar.
This is a man who very recently threatened to use the self-checkout lane with a fucking butter knife. This guy is all about the drama.
You can see it when I f***ing die. Goddamn phone call. I've given you every text. I've given you. It's never made a single goddamn thing better.
Here's secondary polycythemia. There's no cancer here. There's no proof of it. You can't show anybody proof of it because it's not real.
So Boogie gets called out by this guy I hadn't heard of before called Destiny. And if it wasn't clear before, it was clear to everybody now. Everybody watching knew he was lying. Every YouTuber and the dog was making a video about Boogie's lying about cancer. It was massive news. I'm still in it, man. I'm still dark out.
And now you're being confronted on one of the biggest lies in internet history.
I don't consider it.
And you won't prove it?
No.
You won't prove it?
I'd rather you go ahead and print it.
If this is true, and you lied about cancer, this is the biggest scandal on the fucking internet.
It's not, but go ahead and print it anyway.
He was offered loads of money. I heard it went up to like 70, 80 grand. Just turn your phone around, show your health portal thing. No, I'm not going to do it for reasons, privacy reasons, whatever we could think of on the spot. Boogie said he was going to disappear from the internet because people had the audacity to not believe him, and the audacity to not believe this liar. He vanished from Twitter, and you knew he was going to come back to Twitter and YouTube because that's how he makes his money. I thought, he's going to come back less than a week. It'd be all, everybody, I'm so sorry I lied. I thought he'd do that, he'd blame mental health. I thought he was going to come back and really go for the sympathy. I thought he was going to say, I tried to end things, guys. I had all these pills, or I used a rope, and I really thought he was going to come back and go for the sympathy play. But I got that dead wrong.
Destiny's not a fucking doctor. You know who is a doctor? My fucking doctor. He's the one prescribing me all these fucking medications I'm paying for, most of which are only because I've been suffering from polycythemia for the last 2 years. You know who else is a doctor? Not fucking Destiny, my brother. And by the way, my brother has seen my medical records. He's been here since the diagnosis.
Why don't you
I'd rather
show
know.
him?
I spent the last 2 years dealing with a deadly
disease. I'm not making it up. And when my doctor tells me it's probably cancer, I believe my fucking doctor. Now, there's one mistake I didn't know. Stop. Probably cancer. Probably. You know I have witnesses? You know, my fucking brother is a witness, my girlfriend is a witness, my best friend is a witness, my doctor is a witness, every nurse in that goddamn office is a witness. The only thing I have not done is the bone marrow test because it's invasive, painful, and expensive, and I probably will go ahead and go through with it now just so I can shove that in Destiny's face. Whoa.
That proves my point. Like, and a doctor, sorry, my thing is popping out of my ear. Shit. Hopefully you can still hear me. Now, I don't know if you guys are hearing me from that, or hopefully you've been able to hear me the whole time. Shit. So I just had music play in my ear. Alright, well, we're rolling dice. My test one worked, so this should work. Alright. Where was I going? Right. The doctors, before they put him on medicine to treat a blood cancer, would have insisted on him getting the confirmation. Would have insisted on it. Even if they had started him on the medications, they probably would have insisted he do the biopsy. Yes, I guess he could have still denied, but if you're that worried about your health, if you're that worried about staying alive, why the fuck wouldn't you get it done? That maybe I'm just too logical, but that does not make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me.
Whoa. What?
You're going to give the medical records after the bone marrow thing, but not just do it now and knock it out? That makes no sense.
No, I'm going to get it done, and then I'm going to call Destiny and be like, Mom, you'll never get my medical records, so I'm not saying that.
What are you going to own it if you don't show him?
If you really have this, just prove it right now. Quit f***ing around.
Cancer lies piss me off. When you are not willing to,
And I'm not
cancer, and I have to see people die, people who are on their deathbed, far younger than you, should be fired. You should be removed off the platform. You are the worst person I've ever seen on this platform. You are absolutely one of the worst people I've ever seen, dude.
30 years died.
Jesus Christ. That's so fucking, I don't believe anything that's happened in your fucking past. But everything else except that.
Danielle Moody died of breast cancer.
Everything can expose everything about his life except that one thing that was true.
If you had a friend that died of a cancer, and you're potentially going through your own cancer, again, why wouldn't you go through every fucking diagnostic test to rule it whether or not you have it? This makes no sense. It makes no sense. Rumble, it makes no sense. Oh, you smelling my new sneakers? What do you think? Do you like them? I think Rumble's telling me I'm getting agitated.
She died with a hand. And I would never lie about cancer.
Okay.
And it's
You would never lie about it?
You think I would?
Oh, I 100% believe you're not talking about this, but
Apparently
everything
nothing can be put past you.
I'm moving a goddamn thing to your dumb.
Yelling isn't proving anything. Yelling doesn't prove anything.
came back and doubled down on, no, I was diagnosed. He showed off bottles of pills as proof that was the medication for the cancer. He got his brother on the phone to back him up.
And he wants to verify that it was for polycythemia vera and not just polycythemia. Is that?
Yeah, it was for polycythemia vera. It was,
He did everything to prove he had cancer except prove he had cancer. I got his girlfriend on.
Hey, Desi, how are you?
I'm doing okay. How are y'all?
Okay, so Boogie is like legitimately getting canceled by the internet. Some of the biggest YouTubers on the planet have covered this. I mean, like, we're talking about tens of millions of views of Boogie faked cancer.
Yeah, I know it sounds silly, but like for him, it's just like I know if for him, honestly, it's just that like his whole life, everything you guys know, like he just has no privacy whatsoever in his life as is. So like this is the one thing that he does have like for him. So like.
Are you reading something off of the table?
No, I'm not reading anything. It's just like I have anxiety, and so it's just really
okay.
She just looked, she was just terrified. You could see, she even said she had anxiety. She was just terrified, and he made her go on.
They probably, well, I just can't give you guys an honest, like I'm so like put under all this pressure right now. But
no, it's fine.
Yeah.
We now know he wasn't diagnosed, so I don't know if she was flat out lying, or if he manipulated her into believing that he had cancer. I don't know.
It's like he's still fighting it. It doesn't make any sense to anyone.
It doesn't, like, I can't fight with him. I just have to stand by him, even though it may not make sense. It just...
No, if he's
it
lying,
is what it is.
you don't stand
That's
by
my
him.
man. I'm gonna stand by him.
I don't know which one's better, that she just lied, or yeah, he manipulated her. I don't know, but I didn't like her coming on all nervous, and he clearly no.
Something I didn't notice in my first watch through of this, but I'm not going to say that Boogie is physically abusive to his girlfriend, but the way she even seemed to physically shrink as he was entering back into frame tells me that that is not the healthiest relationship. And that's what I'm going to say about that.
A good move from Boogie. What a shocker. And getting his brother on. His brother's meant to be some medical professional, but his brother doesn't have the best take on Boogie.
I watched you, and where it appears to be a play for sympathy, and you're not that. You've never really been that.
We were getting somewhere though. We'd gone from it's on me portal, I'm looking at it right now, but I'm not going to show you, to I don't know if it's on me portal, to it's not on me portal. So we were getting somewhere.
This is like in horrible.
It is what it is, and it's so funny because I'm looking at my portal right now.
So Vera's not on there. Vera's not on the portal.
I don't know, man.
Just admit it's not on the portal.
It's not on there. I told you this.
I have to do the verifying test.
What Boogie was confronted with, hold on, you said you were looking at it on your portal. Boogie changed his attitude. He changed from I've got cancer to feel sorry for me, his old player.
No, that's why.
But if they wanted to put in the charge.
That's why it sucks that I'm getting called by all of my favorite creators a liar. We're not fucking lying.
You lied 1.5 years ago about a diagnosis.
No, I didn't, because he told me.
That's gonna be the worst fake crime.
And the
I've
way
ever
he
seen.
tries
I
to
don't know
throw
if you've
this
seen worse.
doctor under the bus here shortly.
Well, it was just horrendous. Once
It's
you realise
fucking
that Boogie's
terrible.
I know you said master manipulator there. Once you realise that Boogie's a terrible manipulator, it's just so easy to spot. Oh god, so cringy. After the live Keemstar tweeted this out, I just called Boogie and we were talking about future cancer tests. He said to me, I can't believe I'm praying I have cancer. I physically fell to the floor laughing. It was hard to even tweet this out because I keep laughing out loud. I don't even think Boogie understands the situation. I don't know if it's a lack of intelligence or what, but he clearly doesn't understand. The issue isn't whether he's got cancer or not, because he might have when they do tests. It's not like they're going to do tests, he has cancer, and everybody goes, we were wrong, sorry to doubt you. The issue was, he lied about a cancer diagnosis. That never happened. That's the issue, not if he has cancer later down the line. So what if Brienne has cancer? Oh God, fuck me. There were plenty of people wanting Boogie to be fired from Lolcow Live. When Keemstar was talking about it, it didn't sound like he was going to fire him. He's always, like I said, he's always had this soft spot for Boogie.
Here's the thing. I would not fire you if you lied about your cancer. I wouldn't.
I get it, a little bit, because he's just so pathetic. I get why he would have sympathy for him, but lying about cancer, I mean, all lolcows lie.
I lied here. I don't even know why I lied about that. It's so stupid.
But this is something else, isn't it? This is, I don't know, feels different. Anyway, one more live stream was coming up, and we were all going to find out if Keemstar was going to fire Boogie. I tried to stay up and watch it. I fell asleep. You fell asleep? And I woke up to my phone blowing up. I had 2 messages. One from my mum, wasn't about Boogie, and one from Jimmy, saying, dude, wake up, Boogie's live. It's insane. And it was.
Boogie!
Hi, Keem, how are you?
It's Judgment Day.
Yeah, I've done a lot of soul searching since the last episode. We've been making some changes here on the house, and I've been trying to think of different ways that I could show everybody how sorry I am. It's not something to...
I eventually want to set up like Boogie's or Keem. I want a gaming setup.
Do you understand
I'm
the
jealous
gravity of how bad this is?
Yes, absolutely.
Here's another thing I made Boogie do, is I made him mail me the play button. Alright, so his 1 million sub play button is being sent to my house, and I don't know exactly the plan, but the initial thought in my head is that we'd auction it off. Whatever money we get for it goes to some type of cancer research. Because
a part of it is the thing that I've done even on the show. I've tried to stop doing it, but it's sympathy farming. It's something you've called me out on 1,000,000 times.
What about, okay, so you're telling your brother you have cancer, you're telling the internet you have cancer, you're telling your girlfriend you have cancer, you're telling everyone that you have cancer, but it may not be. How do you justify that?
Because, I mean, there is no justification. I can tell you what I was thinking at the time. There is no justification.
He admitted to lying for sympathy. He said he has a problem with lying. We already knew that. It's similar to all lolcows, but he's got to be the worst liar. He's got to be. Anyway, we were all watching to see if Boogie would get fired.
I'm so conflicted on this. You're fired. You have to be fired. You are fired. You are fired. You have to be kicked off this show. This is crazy. This is so bad. And I have sympathy for you. I actually do, and I know a lot of people don't. They want you dead. But I do, because I understand how complex this is. This is so bad. I don't even have other words.
I don't want him dead, but I kind of want him to actually go through cancer. Excuse me. I know some people might not be approving of me saying that, but for him to make this shit up, for him to use it as a cash grab, or you know, oh, well, I'm sorry I did this terrible thing, guys, but I have cancer, you know, no. I want him to have it for real, a real cancer that he has to fight and beat and go through all the horrible shit that Tom and other people have to go through so he can fucking understand what he did wrong. And maybe he won't.
Than just bad. And I know that you're not evil. I know you're just fucking, I don't even have a better word for this. You're
That's it, fired. all over, but I suspect, and plenty of people do, that Keemstar will bring him back at some point, disappear for a few months, and then, imagine Boogie's back. Everybody's going to watch, it'll do huge views, lots of money for Keemstar. And not just that, not just money, he does have a soft spot. And like I said, I kind of get it, because he's just so pathetic. So very, very pathetic.
I mean, I'll crawl right now, and that's with me fired.
I don't want to see that. No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. That's just silly. That's just, no.
I mean, at the end of the day, I took my most prized possession and I sent it to you. It's the only thing I ever wanted to be married with, and we're giving it up for charity.
Like, it's nice having a player, but like I've got a player button. It's not the big one Boogie has, and it's neat. It's neat having it, but to be buried with it, and like just the way he talks, he's got nothing in life that's important to him. That's the most important thing. Like, he's just online. He's chronically online, as people say, and this is all he's got. This Boogie persona. I don't even think Steven exists anymore. It's just Boogie. That's all he's got. This YouTube persona. But he's hated on YouTube. So anyway, that live was a lot calmer than the other two. It was sadder than the other two because he realized what he'd done.
I will point out again, I will go down in history as having faked cancer.
We aren't done yet though, because his old friend Destiny would show up, and nobody gets the Boogie like his old buddy Destiny.
Told by my doctor that I have polycythemia vera, and we're treating you for polycythemia vera.
He might have uttered those words, maybe. He might. I know. I'm sure he said polycythemia, maybe. He might have even said polycythemia vera. He never told you that you had cancer, though.
Sure, that's true. I had to Google that.
Okay. Yes. Which is what we thought.
Oh my God!
That's what we thought in the beginning.
What just happened? What just happened? Your doctor did not tell you had cancer? Even in the confession, even once you're coming clean, you're still saying that your doctor told you had cancer. In the tweet that you put out, after you confessed to be lying about this and you had no confirmation, my doctor is telling me I have cancer. Now, just now, we're finding out
polycythemia vera is a cancer.
No, that's manipulation right there. You keep saying that your doctor said the word cancer, and that we just found out now he didn't even do that.
I mean, he didn't say you have cancer. He said you have polycythemia vera, which is a form of cancer.
Oh God!
You're such a you're a horrible human being. Okay, you're a horrible person. No, you're a bad person. You're a horrible
fireman in a goddamn Trump office. Okay, let me finish the sentence. Moderator, can I finish the sentence?
Yes, go.
Like I said in the video, the prognosis is 20 years. So if you're going to get a cancer, this is the one to get.
Hey,
I haven't been out here saying I'm dying in the next year.
You're getting the same.
You have been saying you're dying. You have been saying
you were on the
everything that he's just said, all of these, again, it's because you're lying. So firstly, if it is cancer, why are lifestyle changes like losing weight helping? That would only help secondary polycythemia.
That's why because...
Exactly. That's right. You're just lying. You're just lying. You don't treat cancer.
Listen, the only way you're ever going to be able to settle this is at some point you're going to have to release the medical records.
That's never happened.
But you're never have to,
because it's never happened.
And look at everything that's happened because it happened.
You.
Look at you. You're already fired from the show. You're already gone. I don't care, Boogie.
Boogie said that he was looking at a piece of paper. It says it on this piece of paper. That was the line number one. Yep. He called in his girlfriend, okay, or the child he's abducted. Okay, he brought her in and he said, okay, polycythemia vera, right? And he had birth control. And then he had his brother send it in, and his brother confirmed it.
So you refer to my 21-year-old girlfriend as a child again? She's a adult. Go yourself. I'm so sick of that. You know,
just went straight back to shouting and being on this whole I'll never show medical records.
Can somebody tell me how young she was when they started dating?
In more and more lies.
Because I feel like they've been dating for like a few years now, right?
Wait. Why did you Google it instead of asking the doctor about it?
I think I did. I think I was like, what does that mean?
And when you asked him, he didn't tell you that it was a blood cancer? He just leaned on you?
memed on me? He's a doctor.
Yeah, a doctor that would tell you cancer. If you ask, what is this thing? It's a blood cancer.
Number one, and this is very rude of me here. This doctor doesn't speak very good English, and so I don't see him anymore.
Was there Dr. Gupta?
No, I don't think it was an Indian accent.
Wait, hold on. He doesn't speak good English. His English is so bad that you couldn't understand what he was telling you enough, but you could hear him enough to hear polycythemia vera and Google him.
I made him repeat it because I'm like, I don't understand what that is. And he goes, well, this is your red blood cell count society. We have to do this. The red blood cell count society.
I think that's wonderful. He's just, he couldn't understand his doctor. He's just such a, do you know what it is? Lots of lolcows lie, but he lies so badly. It's like a kid lying. I know you're lying. No, I'm not. It was Batman. Batman's not real. Yes, he is. Okay. Fine, Boogie. Batman's real. Batman's real. The lies
Batman
just
could
go
be
on
real.
and they just never ever end. It nearly ended. Well, at least Boogie was threatening to end it.
Hey God, you were never you love yourself way too much to ever kill yourself, okay? You're way too narcissistic. You would never be suicidal. You'd let
Technically, I'm working towards being Batman.
You even consider hurting yourself any more than... That was too mean, but no, yeah, like...
Legally emancipated. That's like being an orphan.
Whoa. Okay, well, that was what my joke was going to be. I was saying any more than stuffing your mouth full with a cheezeburger.
I got the smarts. I'm working on the fitness. I just need the money now.
That's why we do it. If you see a 400-pound man, if you see a 400-pound woman, guess what? They do it because there's something wrong in their brains. I'm not talking about if you're a little bit fat like Muda carrying around an extra 20 pounds or whatever.
Mine was just depression,
I'm not talking
dude.
about that. I'm talking about the people that eat themselves. We do it because something's wrong. It's a
I think what's happening, I think you do it because the food tastes really good and exercise sucks.
And that's one of the worst parts about it. I don't even like the taste of food anymore.
Honestly, bro.
Oh, that's... No.
Why drink diet instead of just drinking water?
Because it's a form of self-harm. Because I'm destroying
You
my
drink
body.
Diet Mountain, you go to the store and you spend money on a drink that you apparently don't like just to hurt yourself. You know,
Why not drink full sugar Mountain Dew? No, that's... No.
I don't like it. And you're encouraging people to cut? Go fuck yourself.
Stop digging.
Oh, you want to see that? Hold on. Okay, I'll do it. Give me 30 seconds.
No, holy shit, the next era of Boogie self-harm. No, he's waiting for you to tell him to stop. That's what he's doing. He's waiting.
Well, I'm falling for it. He better not do nothing stupid.
And he's gonna come back with the Razor. He's gonna hold it up, and he's gonna.
I can't.
Like the yeah, sorry.
I can't believe he discovered in this stream that he literally.
It's blurred in this video, but I heard butter knife. Okay, I've heard butter knife. I'm assuming it's an actual butter knife, so he's not serious about this. Fucking drama queen.
He's like, I got this cancer, bro. Now I can make tons of views, but I can fucking.
But like, imagine like after Googling it, do not do anything with that. No.
You want to No. This is what's going eating a sandwich
right now.
What's going eating a sandwich, Destiny?
Put that away right
You
now.
fucking piece of shit.
Okay. All right. No. No. God. What the... No.
What a journey for Boogie, eh? Nicest guy on YouTube. Worst reputation ever. But it's true, his reputation is in the toilet. And every time I think, well, that's as low as a lolcow can get, they always surprise me and do something worse. I'm going to go out on a limb and say this is the worst thing Boogie will ever do. With his time on YouTube. It has to be. It can't get any lower than this.
He can't get much lower.
He was a nice guy of YouTube.
I mean,
what's
he gonna do?
He could have lost loads of weight.
Beat up his girlfriend on camera? I mean, shit.
Too lazy, too many excuses.
Shit on his girlfriend on camera?
I wake up every day and try to be better, even if I'm not successful. I still try.
And he just couldn't stop lying to the very same people who helped him get to the top.
Christ almighty.
Yeah! Hell yeah! I don't like the guy, but I'm interested to see what happens next because I've never seen a situation like this. This is new for me, so I'm interested to see what he does next, but I won't be watching his channel because you can't support a guy who lied about cancer.
No.
But anyway, thanks for watching. Hopefully the video kept you company. Hopefully it wasn't too depressing. And just
no, I wouldn't call it depressing.
Boogie2988.
Infuriating a little bit.
Take it away, Boogie.
Actually, Guitar Guy has joined us. I wrote some lyrics, and I hope you enjoy, okay? Yeah. Yeah. Well, my dad is dead. Yeah, my dad died. He had lung cancer, and it made him die. Thanks to God's mercy, he drowned in his own blood. He drowned in his own blood. He drowned in his own blood. Yeah, dad died, and he drowned in his own blood. He drowned in his own blood. He drowned in his own blood. Jesus loved him, so he drowned in his own blood. He drowned in his own blood. He drowned in his own blood.
Oh, Jesus. That's just... It's fucking horrible. Right, so, yeah, you shouldn't lie, period, is the moral of the story. And if you're gonna insist on lying, don't fucking lie about cancer. Don't lie about some sort of medical condition that is... Just don't lie. Please. It's don't be like Boogie. Don't be like Amber. Don't be like Chantal. Don't be like these fucking lol cows. Don't... You know, when people have real issues, it's then gonna have people suspect them of saying shit and being horrible people, and it... Excuse me. It's like a little after 7:30 in the morning. I woke up a little after midnight. I went to bed early. So, I'm going to try to nap at some point and fix my sleep schedule. But, I'm going to try to do some other videos first. So, this is me at least covering this little bit of Boogie. I know there's so much more because he's been on YouTube for years. Oh, I'm sorry. But, yeah, I had to say something about this. Don't lie about cancer. Don't fucking lie about cancer. Comments, questions, suggestions, drop them down below. Thumbs up, thumbs down. It's your call. I love you guys. Go fuck yourselves. And I'll talk to you very soon. Bye.